Do you ever wonder what goes on in the world of Jurassic Park and Jurassic World? Especially after Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, when the dinosaurs are released into the wilderness. Well, the movie Jurassic World Dominion, spoilers alert right here if you haven't seen the movie, all of the dinosaurs get to roam the wild and they exist in harmony with other creatures. This, whatever they showed us at the end of the movie, isn't
ecological disaster.
You see, when an invasive species enters a new environment, it would have tremendous impacts on it. I don't think I need to explain why they would affect the environment, considering that it is a widely known environmental knowledge. Biologically speaking, all of these dinosaurs will die very shortly after being released into the wild, as Earth now is nowhere near warm enough for them, and they would not have the type of food they are used to eating. Purely scientifically speaking, I would say the majority of the dinosaurs will die off within a few days, and only a selected few small predators will actually be able to survive. Each of the dinosaurs that's going to be mentioned will be in a hypothetical scenario where no other dinosaurs will live in the vicinity of where they will be living. This way, it creates a more interesting topic rather than saying they will live just fine because that's how it was hundreds of millions of years ago. If and when we can ignore those big issues, we can stop wasting more time and dive into the video. The dinosaurs that will be talked about will only be the ones we get to see from Jurassic World Dominion, as these are the ones we know to have physically survived in their universe. Also, just a quick note, I am not a paleontologist nor an evolutionary biologist. The following scenarios are purely based on the speculations of a logical mind. If you think I'm wrong, let me know in the comments for further discussions. Anyway, starting with herbivorous dinosaurs, we get to see many types of them in the movie. Two types of sauropods were shown in the movie, namely the Pterosaurs in the beginning that emerged out of the snow and the Dreadnoughtus that was just chilling in the reserve in Italy. These sauropods should not affect the environment they live in for the short term, that is if they live in an area with plenty of food. Therefore, the only reasonable and sustainable locations that they will survive in are the jungles. Just like giraffes and elephants, if not better, they won't have to worry about predators at all, as there aren't predators big enough to hunt them when they are in a pack. These dinosaurs need to spend their entire day eating, as they would need a lot of food to maintain their size. If these sauropods are able to survive in the short term, they will eventually drive out smaller herbivore mammals, as there will be less food around. The native carnivorous animals will follow suit, as they do not have the ability to hunt and kill these sauropods for food, eventually leading to an overpopulated environment of sauropods with nearly no other animals around, except for the smaller animals that can live off of them or live off of their leftovers. Compared to the sauropods, smaller herbivorous dinosaurs will most likely survive in the right environment, aka if they have enough food. Hadrosaurs like the Pterosaurs will most likely exist in harmony in the environment with other animals. That is, if they are actually the size of horses like they were shown in the movie. They can be hunted by larger predators like lions, tigers, and such. Due to their rather defenseless nature, essentially they function like another medium-sized herbivore animal, and they will probably not affect the structure of the environment by much. On the other hand, the thyreophorans, like the Stygasaurus, and the ceratops, like the Triceratops and its relatives, will survive just fine. They can technically be hunted by a pride of lions, but with much more effort. In short, these medium-sized herbivorous dinosaurs will most likely survive in the wild, if they can find enough food, and they will take up roles similar to hippos and elephants. There are existing predators that can possibly hunt and kill these animals, so overpopulation will probably not be an issue for the short term. Although killing a Stegosaurus and the Ceratops will most likely be more difficult than killing something like a Parasaurolophus, it is still possible. In terms of Ankylosauruses, wrong Kylo, will probably not be hunted because of its armors. The Stegosaurus and the Ceratops will probably be overpopulated during a longer observation period. period, as the hunters would tend to leave them alone more due to their sheer size. One other herbivorous dinosaur that deserves a mention is the Therizinosaurus. The Therizinosaurus is one of the most interesting dinosaurs in Jurassic World Dominion, not actually because it was blind though, for some reason. Ignoring the blind trait of this dinosaur, if the aggressive nature is accurate in this movie, they can do a lot of damage while being an herbivore. Essentially, it would be a more destructive hippopotamus, while not having natural predators that can realistically kill it. Eventually, not only will they become overpopulated in the environment, their aggressive nature will also drive out any other herbivorous animals and eventually create a homogeneous environment. And finally, I'm leaving out the Pachycephalosaurus, or Stygimoloch, because paleontologists still debate whether it is herbivorous or carnivorous to this day. While some of the herbivorous dinosaurs can live in harmony with native creatures in the environment, carnivorous dinosaurs will most likely wreak havoc on the ecological integrity. Larger carnivorous dinosaurs like the Tyrannosaurus rex, the Giganotosaurus, and even the Allosaurus and Carnotaurus, the one we get to see in Jurassic World Dominion, will most likely dominate whatever environment they live in. Most likely, these dinosaurs will thrive in semi-tropical jungles. They will outcompete all other carnivores in the environment and eventually drive them out. As other carnivores would not get enough food. Due to their domineering nature, T-Rexes might even fully drop their scavenging side of feeding behavior and become full-time predators. Depending on their speed of reproduction, they can multiply exponentially in numbers and do a lot of damage to the environment. Eventually, it would become self-destructive, as these carnivorous dinosaurs would also drive out the native herbivorous animals, as they will not be able to reproduce fast enough. Essentially, it is a reverse situation of the sauropod scenario. On the contrary, smaller carnivorous dinosaurs will be less invasive than the larger ones. This includes the Pyroraptor, the Atrociraptor, the Velociraptor like Blue,
Why are you blue?
and her somehow born child Beta, as well as the Oviraptor in the extended edition. These smaller predators are way less destructive than the big carnivores like the T-Rex, but the sheer ferocity of these guys can outperform most other natural predators like wolves or even lions. Not a biologically accurate Velociraptor because they are smaller than what they are in the movies, but the Pyroraptor or the Atrociraptor should be able to outpower lions. The Oviraptors, however, might not be able to compete with wolves because they're rather small in size. The larger raptors will make the city suburbs more dangerous, as they will replace wolves and coyotes. I'm not certain of what would happen to their prey's population, as I cannot predict their actual ability to hunt. Real-world predators don't have the stamina that the Atrociraptors have in the movie, as predators are almost always sprinters. If they do possess the ability to run at maximum speed for as far as they did in the movie, they will be the end of forest herbivores like deers. I'm going to leave out the Dilophosaurus because they are very different in real life. One of the most outrageous harmony scenes for me was the one where the Pterosaurs were just chilling with the birds. Pterosaurs will be an actual menace to the environment. Imagine a very large eagle and on crack. They will be a threat to most if not all animals on Earth. A male pteranodon have a physical body larger than a human, while having a wingspan longer than the length of cars. Don't even get me started with the Quetzalcoatlus. Essentially, they are giraffe-sized avian predators that have beaks longer than the height of human. Not only will they make walking outdoors dangerous for humans, cause you know, they can eat humans full with the size of their beaks, they will be extremely destructive to the ecosystem wherever they live. Pterosaurs are said to possess the ability to fly for a very long time, meaning they will spread across the entire world in a very short period. As they don't have any natural enemies and can likely outpower most terrestrial carnivores and herbivores, they will also start causing troubles for aerial travels and cause enough damage to the world economy for all of the countries to band together and exterminate all of them. The Jurassic World series was essentially kickstarted with the iconic Mosasaur, with it devouring the villain of the first movie. We only know one Mosasaur to exist in Jurassic World. If they were allowed to breed, it would definitely overpopulate the ocean, as they can easily eat up the biggest creatures in the ocean. And no, there aren't massive creatures like the megalodons in the deep sea. There isn't enough food down there to support their size. The Mosasaur is also a shallow sea predator, so they wouldn't even reach deep sea to hunt things like giant squids. If they breed, they will take over as the king of all sea creatures, and eventually die off or evolve evolve to be a smaller version of themselves because there won't be enough whales and sharks for them to eat. Even if it's just one mosasaur, it can cause enough damage to the economy as it would probably attack container ships, causing enormous damage and supply issues in the economy for government to fund enough money to kill it. But for the period that it will be alive, it can wreak havoc wherever it lives. And it would most certainly not be swimming and chilling with the blue whales, as the blue whales are fine food for the mosasaurs. Hello everyone, this is Guai, and these are my thoughts on what would happen if the dinosaurs from Jurassic World Dominion were let loose into the wilderness. Again, I'm not an evolutionary biologist nor a paleontologist, so let me know in the comments if you think events will happen differently. And with that, I'll see you next time.
You passed the bar?
What a sick joke!